Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Grid. We're in week 14 already. The teams have kind of dwindled, but we still have quite a few teams remaining to play December football. So we're going to get right into it. I'm joined today by Marcus Gutierrez and Ray Castillo. And let's jump right into it as we get into the regional round of the playoffs. We have 9 teams left playing 7 games this weekend. We have 6 games on Friday and one on Saturday, and we're going to go from highest classification to lowest. And we'll start with the game Friday night between Cuero and Navarro. A rematch, really a continuation of a playoff rivalry. This will be the fifth straight year that these teams have played. Cuero won the first three, but the Gobblers remember all too well last season when they met Navarro in the quarterfinals and lost. That was a painful loss. And I know you've seen Cuero this year, Marcus. You know they've been kind of waiting for this moment, this opportunity.
Yeah, it's something that they probably thought about all through the spring and all when camp started is getting back to this game. And they have a very good shot at winning this team. Navarro is a great team. They have been for a while, but they're not as good as what they were last year. They lost a lot of that senior class.
Right.
And Cuero is hot right now, extremely hot right now. They put up 70 points last week. You were there to see that. And when you say 70 points in a playoff game, that's very impressive. So you know they're clicking on all cylinders right now, which is good. Then they have that extra motivation to beat Navarro to take them down. I know they won the previous matchups in years past, but they have a chance because that loss really hurt all the Gobblers, and they have their chance now on Friday to beat them in advance of the playoffs.
Right, and I saw Navarro earlier in the season against Refugio. Of course, handed Refugio its only loss of the season. Navarro still runs the slot T, although they'll occasionally break out and get into a spread. Their quarterback, Will Evo, is an excellent athlete, and he can throw the ball a little bit. But the key for Cuero is just getting off the field. Navarro, with that, they like to control the clock. They'll run that slot T, and if they get a 4th and 2, they'll go for it pretty much anywhere on the field because they feel like their offense can get 2 yards when they have to. So that'll be the key for the Gobblers because I don't believe Navarro is as good defensively as it was last year. So the Gobblers should have opportunities to score as long as they're able to get the ball. And moving along, and we have Class 3A Division One, the game Ray you'll be at, which is right here in Victoria at Memorial Stadium. We have Goliad and Edna. You know, they're playing for the third time in the last 3 years, or I guess 4 years. What do you expect to see from that game?
Just like Coach Long said, a dogfight. You look at the two premier running backs in that district going at each other. Kenny Haynes, Edna, Logan Bland, and Goliad, who are having great seasons. Kenny with 31 touchdowns on the year, which is impressive. And Coach Long said, they're gonna ride him. And Goliad will be ready though, coming off that big win over Hallettsville. So we're going to see what happens here in Victoria. I know both teams, like you said, like the third time in the last 4 years. And correct me if I'm wrong, first time in the regional they're meeting, or maybe. So it's going to be interesting, and we'll obviously know the winner of this game. If it's Van Blyck or Yoakum, but I know they're just focused on Friday night. So it'll be good to see Rocky Morris is ready. He's experienced. He got some, made some good plays. The quarterback position for the Tigers against Hallettsville, but the defense, in that second half, limiting the Ravens, holding them scoreless. Angel Hernandez played defense most of that game, and he made some big plays, and then Logan Bland did the rest. So, Goliath's hoping to carry that momentum against Edna, but the Cowboys big win over Lyford. And, it's going to be a dogfight, like Coach Long said.
Right, and I think the key for Goliad, you look at them, man, what a tough route they've had. Of course, they had Santa Rosa in the first round, and they pretty much blew them out. But now you look at the possibility they played Hallettsville. Now they have to play Edna. And if they somehow can win this game, there's a good chance they play Yoakum. I mean, those are 3 excellent teams back to back to back. That's a tough thing to do to be, at your best 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
I think with Goliad, in their first 2 playoff games, they started out really slow. And in playoffs, you can't start slow. You have to start out fast. But in the second half, they showed that they were the better team and dominated in the second half. I know Coach Nicholson. He probably wants to get off to that hot start. So the start of this game is going to be really important because let's say if Goliad doesn't start out strong and it does, how do the Tigers react to that? So it's going to be interesting to see how this game starts. It sets the tone.
Right, and I know Houtsville is disappointed. The season's over for the Brahmas, but there is a game at Brahma Memorial Stadium on Friday, and it's a good one too. We have Tidehaven and Lexington, and Lexington has been number one throughout the whole year. Lexington, in fact, I believe Lexington started out the season with a win over Mark, which is supposed to be the best team in 2A, and they've scored a lot of points. Now you have Tidehaven, who's reached this round for the first time since 1990. Coach David Lucio's done a great job down there. Of course, running back Jeff Williams has been superb all season. We'll see if Coach Lucio can come up with a plan maybe to slow down Lexington's offense and, just keep the Tiger season going.
Yeah, you talk about Jeff Williams. He had 6 touchdowns last week, over 200 yards, I think. And that's really impressive, especially in the playoffs. We have a lot of athletes have great games, and this is the time where you have those great games. You might say that Tidehaven might be the underdog, but they've had a great season, and they're going into that game with a lot of confidence.
Right, and of course, we talk about Edna, and we have, of course, Van Vleck and Yoakum still alive in that district. But in 2A, we have 2 teams from the district still alive, Refugio and Yorktown. The Bobcats will go to San Antonio. They're going to play Holland. This is a team, according to what Coach Jason Herring said, and some of the Bobcat coaches said, that does just about everything on offense. They'll run 6 different people in the backfield, rotating them in and out. It's almost like, one of the coaches said, it's almost like the old single wing, where you never know what can happen. They run reverses, they'll throw, they'll do whatever. So they're basically what they're going to try to do, it sounds like, is confuse Refugio and catch them out of position so they could score. The other side of the ball, though, I don't know if Holland can contain Refugio's offense, which has been pretty potent, even during the playoffs. No one has really stopped Refugio.
I think you talk about that offense. Jared Kelly, a sophomore, he stepped up and looked great. You told us the games that he doesn't look like a sophomore. He looks like a boy senior out there. And when you have a young player stepping up with a great group around him, they're going to keep on going, being dominant. Refugio, they're the defending state champs with a great coaching staff. Those coaches are going to be prepared with whatever Holland throws at them. So it's going to be an interesting matchup to see what happens.
Right. Meanwhile, Yorktown, who kind of has flown under the radar here, and all of a sudden you look up, they're in the regional round against Mason, who took a really hard-fought 7-0 win over Shiner. Another heartbreaker for Coach Steve Trendy down in Shiner. Had a lot of them during his career, but Shiner played an excellent defensive game. The key for Yorktown is obviously they have to play good defense, but they're going to have to score to beat Mason. And to do that, they're going to have to, I think, throw the ball. And Yorktown is capable of throwing the ball. Quarterback Jaden Webb has a good arm. They've got good receivers like Jamel Wade who can catch the ball, is a great athlete. So, in fact, Coach John David Caffey said earlier this week that, looking back on it, in the game against Shiner, which Yorktown led at halftime, he wishes he had thrown more in the second half against Shiner. But I know, Ray, you saw Yorktown when it beat Woodsboro. What kind of impressed you about the Wildcats?
It's just what you said now, the 2 players you mentioned, Jaden Webb and Jamel Wade, those 2 guys had huge impacts in that game against Woodsboro earlier in the season. I believe Jamel Wade had 2 interceptions that game, including a touchdown. And Jaden, he looked good. He could throw the football. And like you said, if they want to have success against Shiner, they're going to have to bring it on both sides. And, Coach Caffey, second year with the Wildcats, and, man, he's doing a great job. And like you said, that tough loss for Shiner, 7-0. I know it's obviously a different opponent, but, the Wildcats, and that's the thing, too, is what I've sensed just looking, reading your article, Mike, they feel like they can win.
Right.
And, at the end of the day, Coach Caffey just wants to see what his team can do. against Mason, and if those guys believe they can do it, it's going to be interesting.
Well, we lost a lot of teams last week in Class 2A Division II, but the one remaining is the Fall City Beavers. Fall City, as of late, has been playing very, very good, rolling up a lot of points. Of course, quarterback Keyshawn Johnson is an extremely good athlete, and he has other weapons, running back Andrew Malcolm, Corey Zook, Dylan Zook, the receivers. So the Beavers, have a good team, but they'll place a challenge against Milano team, which eliminated Woodsboro. So, the Beavers, they're used to being in this round. They're a tradition-bound team. Coach Hart, in fact, he coached against the Beavers in the state finals some years back when he was at Wellington. So, Coach Hart has been to this round before, and he knows what it takes. And so, one game on Saturday. It's a big one. It's two district rivals playing each other, Yoakum and Van Vleck. And they get to play in the new Katy Legacy Stadium, which is supposed to be a beautiful facility. I don't know, Marcus, have you seen that stadium?
I haven't seen it. I've heard good stories from other sports writers in the Houston area, and they say it's really great. So I'm excited to get down there and go to a $80 million stadium. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Well, Yoakum handled Van Vleck during district. It's 49-12. But it's tough to beat a team twice because teams are going to make adjustments, obviously. What are some of the keys for, obviously, I guess Van Vleck is to try and get the ball in Dimitri Monroe's hands. What about Yoakum?
Coach Robinson, I talked to him yesterday. He said that game doesn't matter. This is the playoffs and it's a new game. He says that they're a very scary team. You mentioned Dimitri Monroe. He has the ability to take the ball and go to the house each play. So the Yoakum defense, which has been stout all year, they're going to have to contain the sidelines and make sure that he doesn't get out and get loose. And the thing about Yoakum is they're really mature. What Coach Robinson told me is that last year around this time they would have been a little bit nervous, playing a team for the second time. But all these the juniors are seniors now, and they're all mature. They're ready to go take care of business. And it looks like a totally different Yoakum team from last year.
Right. I know at this point in time, you just really have to be careful about looking ahead. I mean, you can't say, hey, we're looking to play Edna or Goliad next week because Van Vleck has great athletes, like we said, and they're capable of scoring. So at this point in time in the playoffs, it's really, you have to maintain your focus on that week's opponent. And if you do, then, you should be in good position to get to the quarterfinals, which will be coming up next week. And once again, I'll remind you, we'll have all the scores for you. Follow us on Twitter, and you'll be able to see all the scores, and you can read about everything in the grid. And we'll hope that we'll have quite a few teams again next week, and we'll be back then.